Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be doing a 12-team PPR mock draft from the first overall spot on FantasyPros.com. Now, last time we did a mock draft, it was on Underdog with a bunch of other people, and that's where I plan to be doing a lot of the mock drafts in the future. But for today, I didn't have all that much time to sit on there for like 30 to 45 minutes to do a draft, so we are here on Fantasy Pros drafting up against the computer. Again, this is a 12-team PPR mock draft from the first overall spot. I'll be doing 10-team drafts, 14-team drafts, 8-team drafts in the future, so make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. I'll also be doing standard PPR as well as half PPR, but where we are right now in March, it just seems like PPR is what a majority of people play, so that's what we're going to be talking about. But again, guys, if you don't play in PPR, you can definitely still get a lot of information from this video because I'm going to be talking about a lot of the players in the draft, even ones that I don't end up picking. So the roster positions for this draft is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wideouts, a tight end, flex, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. Again, we are doing this on Fantasy Pros. If you guys do end up enjoying this video at any point, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, I put out content every single day, pretty much surrounding around the NFL, fantasy football. And if you guys want to win your 2021 Fantasy Football League, you're at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. So let's get into it. At the number 1 overall spot here, I am looking running back. I think it's a little bit foolish to go wide receiver with the first pick. I know in years past, a couple of years ago, Antonio Brown was a hot number 1 pick on Pittsburgh back when he was tearing it up before. Obviously, he went coco crazy. So now, not on the coke, but you know, just kind of something that rhymes. So now we are up here and I'm looking running back. To me, it's either between Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, or Alvin Kamara. Now, there's obviously a chance that Kamara's quarterback ends up being Taysom Hill. Now, personally, I think it's going to end up being famous Jameis Ida W. Winston, but if it's not and it ends up being Taysom Hill, Kamara's splits with or without Taysom Hill are down tremendous if Taysom Hill is in the game, so I would probably avoid Alvin Kamara if it came out that Taysom Hill was the guy. I like Christian McCaffrey here. I feel like he's going to bounce back, obviously. When the guy's healthy, he's averaging 30-plus PPR points every single game. He is a menace to your fantasy football league. He literally tears it up every single game, never has a bad game unless the guy gets hurt. So to me, it is a very easy layup here at the 101 to go with Christian McCaffrey. Looking at the draft board after our pick, we see Saquon Barkley followed by Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, Michael Thomas, Nicholas Chubb, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Swift, Travis Kelce, Joe Mixon, and George Kittle me Timbers. I do not believe that Fantasy Pros has the rookie running backs in here, and if they do, they're not ranked correctly because obviously you'd see a guy like ETN potentially ranked inside the top 20. So I think they're on the website, but they're not ranked correctly. So we probably won't be looking too much at rookie running backs. But if a guy like Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, potentially, depending on where they land, are going to be 3rd or 4th round picks, I'm going to assume in every single draft. And if they land in the correct spot, they will be up here in the 2nd round. Interesting enough here, Michael Thomas goes ahead of guys like DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown to me. I'm not too sure if I'm willing to put Mr. Slant Boy back there. Now, I do think he could have a huge year with Jameis Winston, but I am just a little concerned about the draft capital. But again, you will feel foolish if Michael Thomas has another amazing year, like he does every single year aside from last year. Now, notice only 3 wide receivers went in the 1st round. I feel like it's going to be pretty typical for 60% of the 1st round to be the running back position. It just seems like the running back position gets really scarce once you get into the 3rd round, so I'd be heavily looking to get at least 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds. Now, again, I say this in every mock draft, do not go into the draft with a linear mind thoughts. That's not really what I meant to say, but like linear thoughts on what you're going to do. Don't just be like, I need a running back, and then I need a running back, and then I need a wide receiver. Say a bunch of running backs more went here, and then Calvin Ridley is here, or another wide receiver that you love, then you pick him, and you don't just hop onto another pick because you're like, oh no, I need to get a running back, things like that. Now, no quarterbacks have came off the board. Kittle and Kelce coming off the board in the 2nd round. I think Kelce's honestly more of a 1st round pick, and I think he will be in a majority of drafts, even a potential top 5 pick. So now we are back up on the board here. I'm going to be hiding the drafted players. We are going to be looking to snag at least 1 more running back here. Now, Josh Jacobs, after that news that Kenyon Drake, who should be somewhere down here, has signed with the Raiders, I mean, what the fuck? What are they doing? There's no way that you draft Josh Jacobs in the second round. There's no way you draft Kenyon Drake in like the 6th round. I am fading him completely. Now, there's definitely... Did he already get picked? I was looking for the Detroit running back. He may have actually already been picked, and I already said his name, DeAndre Swift. Now, with DeAndre Swift, they bring in Jamal Williams, but I'm not ultra worried about that. But again, it's not the greatest of news, so it's seeming like it's kind of a bit more risky here in the second round at the running back position, at least based off of what we know right now. Again, in training camp and all that stuff, things are going to change. People will end up getting hurt, knock on wood. Let's hope it's not our guys, but obviously things end up happening, and that might really sure open a role for one of these guys. Miles Sanders obviously did not play all that good last season. Did get injured, but he did play very good with Jalen Hurts, and I think that Miles Sanders will be able to have a tremendous bounce back year in 2021. We are back up on the board here, and I am looking to go wide receiver. I really like a guy like Chris Carson, Kareem Hunt, or Melvin Gordon in the next round, and I would feel ultra confident in that. Phillip Lindsay ends up leaving, going to a different team, which opens the door wide open for Melvin Gordon's season. So I'm very excited for that. Phillip Lindsay is in Houston now, which is terrible for him, but I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to wait. Allen Robinson, we don't really know where he's going to play, right? We don't know if it's going to be Allen Robinson's season in Chicago, if he's going to hold out to try to go somewhere else. We don't really know. They didn't end up getting Kenny Golladay, which was the report the Giants get him. So I like Allen Robinson, and I will take him here, but I will not judge you if you'd look to go Keenan Allen, a guy like Julio, or a guy like Terry McLaurin here. I think Allen Robinson succeeds in pretty much any situation. He did it in Jacksonville, has done it in Chicago. I am very confident in Mr. Allen Robinson, even though it's a bit worrisome that they didn't end up getting a quarterback, and their starting quarterbacks are Andy Dalton and 9-inch Nicholas Foles. Shout out to Josh Allen, who just got picked because his backup is now Lord Kissin, Teddy Trubisky. After we went with Allen Robinson, Pat Mahomes came out the board, followed by Julio Jones, David Montgomery, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, J.K. Dobbins, Antonio Gibson, Cam Akers, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, and James Robinson to close out the 3rd round. So we do see a quarterback go inside of the top 3 rounds. Quarterbacks in every fantasy football draft are going to be completely different. Some leagues, you're going to have the asshat who drafts Pat Mahomes at pick 2. Then in other drafts, you're going to have guys wait to draft them until like the 4th round. It's different in every single league. I do advise waiting on quarterbacks. That's just my kind of point of view on things. Darren Waller goes in the 3rd round, so we did see all of the big 3 tight ends come off the board. Kittle obviously didn't have a great year last year, obviously due to injury, and he should be an easy bounce-back candidate. Darren Waller tore it up. Travis Kelce tore it up. Those are the real big 3 guys, and I think a lot of people this year are going to be heavily targeting these guys because of how hard it is. At least last year, a lot of these late-round tight ends did not end up hitting. So we're back up on the board. Our roster is now on the top left of the screen. We got Run CMC, Miles Sanders, and Allen Robinson. So here I'm looking to snag another running back before we hop back on the wide receiver train. That's Chris Carson. I did not think he would end up signing back with the Seattle Seahawks. I thought his ass was as good as grass, and he was gone. But no, the door is now very much back open for Chris Carson to have a tremendous 2021 NFL season. When healthy, this guy is a fucking beast. Let's see if we can pull it up. 1,000 yards 2018, 1,000 yards in 2019. It's simple. He's good. They like to run the ball. But Nick, Russell Wilson might be gone. Now, obviously, by the time you're drafting in August, you'll know. You'll know, because if Russell Wilson isn't there, and their starting quarterback is some cheeks, I'm looking away from Chris Carson. But based upon what my analysis is with my big brain on the Seattle Seahawks, I feel pretty confident in drafting a guy like Chris Carson here. So now we're back up on the board. Mark Andrews really fell from grace in 2019, or from 2019 to 2020. 2020 was not the greatest of years. I hope that the Ravens are able to bring someone in via the draft, hopefully Rashad Bateman, I should say, to be the guy there. Because right now, they don't have a single wide receiver with any skill. So we're going to hop onto the wide receiver train here. I like DJ Moore a lot. He's probably going to be the pick. Juju signs back with Pittsburgh. I mean, good for him, right? He wants to play in Pittsburgh, but very bad for fantasy purposes, especially when trying to take him, because I like all the other guys like Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson much better. Tyler Lockett is one of those guys that I'm really looking to draft in best ball leagues, because if you look at this guy, let's see if we can pull up his games. Yeah, right here. This is pretty fucking weird to look at, right? So his fantasy points right here, right? So his wide receiver finish. He's wide receiver 20, 11, 1. right? Then next week he's 76, then 50. Then bye week comes back, he's the best receiver again, 53, 62, 32. What? How are you supposed to buy into that player? He is super inconsistent. In best ball leagues, he's fucking amazing because he's going to have that week, multiple weeks in the season, like 3-4 weeks where he has these big boom games. But the rest of the time, you are going to be down tremendous. And it's very hard to figure out when to start him. I think we see DJ Moore get even more unleashed in 2021. Had a great 2020 season. 2019 was pretty decent for him as well. I am very sold in on DJ Moore this season. I think he plays great again. Now, obviously, we don't know the quarterback situation there, which does make it a little bit dicey. But again, that's how all drafts are going to be until the NFL draft in a couple of weeks. Now, obviously, guys, if you do end up enjoying again, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do a lot of NFL draft content as we approach the draft. There'll probably be an NFL mock draft this week. A lot of free agency is over. Now, I understand Deshaun Watson. We are in straight limbo with Deshaun Watson right now because of these things that he has alleged to have done. Not going to comment on that really because I have no idea if he did it or not. Really, none of us know, except for the people who accused him. If he did it or not, they're saying they're going to bring it to court. This is very worrisome for Deshaun Watson, obviously, because he might be a bad guy who did that. And how are they going to trade him if this is alleged? They want the draft picks. The draft is coming up soon. This is a terrible time for it. For Deshaun Watson, considering he wants out of there. So after with DJ Moore, again, please, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Deebo Samuel, Mark Andrews, Will Fuller, Myles Gaskin, Juju Smith-Schuster, Titty Boy T. Higgins, TJ Hawkinson, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, Noah Fant. Now, interesting here, we see what happens in every draft. Someone picks Kyler Murray, so then the next guy soils his underwear. And it's like, I need Lamar now. I need to pick a quarterback. And then that guy's like, oh, fuck. If I don't pick Dak Prescott here, he's not going to fall back to me in the next round. I'm not going to get a quarterback. Oh, Dak Prescott. And then this guy's like, oh, fuck. Oh, gee Willikers. I'm not going to get a quarterback. Then he panics and picks Deshaun. And then the next guy's like, I'm a big brain. I'm not going to do something like that. I want Kenyon Drake. The next guy's like, I want Robert Tonyan. And then this guy's like, he's with these guys. He's with these silly gooses over here. And he's like, fuck it, dude. I need a quarterback now. Justin Herbert. That's going to happen in so many drafts. The positions that go most on runs are obviously early on it's running backs. In the middle here, there's going to be a lot of wide receiver runs. But in the middle of the draft, you're to see runs on tight ends. I'm talking Hawkinson, Fant, Gesicki, Andrews, Tonyan, Logan Thomas. All these guys fly off the board so fast. Same thing at quarterback here where we see that run. So don't hop on the run. Try to avoid it. Try to stay away. But obviously, sometimes the runs get you. Shout out to Diarrhea. So after that, after Justin Herbert, the pervert, we got Brandon Cooks, Odell Beckham Jr., and Raheem Mostert. So Odell Beckham Jr. is a guy that I don't like. Not that I don't like him as a guy. Just don't like him for fantasy football. Disappointed too many years in a row. I don't really know too much what to say about him. I mean, he keeps getting hurt. There's reports of Cleveland trading him, so that's not great. I don't know. Here at this pick, this is a slam dunk. Melvin Gordon. They bring in Mike Boone. Are you scared of fucking Mike Boone? Melvin Gordon got fucked by the fact that Phillip Lindsay was there. Phillip Lindsay is good, and so Phillip Lindsay actually also got fucked by Melvin Gordon because Lindsay could have had a good year. Gordon could have had a good year, but they could not maintain success together. They needed to be separated to be successful. Like my parents. No, I'm just fucking kidding. My parents are not divorced. I just thought that was a funny joke. Shout out to my dad who's probably watching this video. But Melvin Gordon, I like him a lot. We've seen him succeed, obviously, in LA. We saw him play pretty decent last year. I actually think he had some pretty solid yardage, 900 yards. I mean, that was very low-key because it was very inconsistent. But I think there's a layup pick in the 6th round. And by the time we're really drafting, he's probably going to end up being a 3rd-round pick because that's how confident I am in Melvin Gordon. Now, notice how I went running backs real early on here. It's because later in the draft, I feel like I could just close my eyes and click on one of these guys. And if I do it enough, a bunch of these guys are going to hit, and if I have these 2 great starting wide receivers, I'm barely ever going to even have to play these guys unless injuries happen, right? Or unless they want to be my flex. So I'm not ultra concerned about spamming the wide receiver button. I'd rather get the running backs because running backs seems like they get hurt more easily. And you need to get that depth because it's very hard to find a running back on free agency. Like, unless someone was to get hurt, it's hard to just go on the fucking waiver wire and just pick up, J.D. McKissick, and J.D. McKissick magically gets 30 points. Like, whereas that wide receiver, you can fucking close your eyes and click on there and just hope that you pick up someone, they'll probably get you 15 points. So here, we're going to hop back on the wide receiver train, though. Right here, we're at the running back spot where it's running back hellhole. David Johnson. I mean, Mark Ingram's there. Philip Lindsay's there. No, not drafting any of those guys. Ronald Jones. Is Fournette back? I don't know. That's really the rest of the news, really, for running. We need to know what happens to Fournette because pretty much all of this James Conner, a lot of this stuff is still speculative, but we're pretty much nearing the end of all the big signings, so that's very good, at least for when I was making this video, because I wanted to make a mock last week, but I just didn't feel like if I did it, like, when I wanted to, like, later in the week, like, it would have been as acceptable, because guys were still moving around. I mean, like, the fucking tight ends are just completely fucked. Like, Jonnu goes to New England, and then we see Hunter Henry also go there. I mean, it's just so confusing. Not touching any of those guys. So we're going to go ahead here and go with a wide receiver. I really like Boyd. I am a little bit worried, though, that they end up drafting a wide receiver in Cincinnati that is going to skull fuck his value. Then we have Courtland Sutton, who I really like. Drew Lock kind of stinks, but he's also caught fire at points in the season. I'm going with Courtland Sutton. He's played good with Lock in the past. Obviously got hurt last year, only played in one game. I think we see a big bounce back for Courtland Sutton, but it's really a bounce back because the guy was hurt, and it was pretty obvious he probably would have had a fucking fire year last year, even with Mr. Horsecock Drew Lock. So we still got a decent amount of positions left, still got some quarterbacks, some tight ends, but again, I'm not really looking to draft a quarterback, tight end super early, so we're probably just going to keep hammering on the bench. Next up, after we drafted Courtland Sutton, Tyler, Boyd came off the board, followed by DJ Chark, Aaron Rodgers, Hollywood Brown, Russell Wilson, David Johnson, Chase Claypool, Jarvis Landry, Ronald Jones, Devontae Paca, James White. Interesting. I love James White. I think he's going to be a buck, and man, Tampa Bay Tom, James White. Sheesh, that's a connection like you read about on the internet. Leonard Fournette, Robbie Anderson, Michael Gallup, nay. Oh, I'm never going to fucking say that again. That was so stupid. Najee Harris. I love Najee Harris. He's not going in the 8th round. I'll tell you what, feller. There's no way that happens. After that, we see Devin Singletary, bum. James Conner, injury-prone. Zach Moss, bum. Curtis Samuel. I love that signing in Washington. A.J. Dillon. Yikes, because Aaron Jones signed back. Did Aaron Jones even get picked? Is this the website where Aaron Jones just never comes off the board? Yeah, it might be. It might be. I don't see Aaron Jones. Riddle me this. Maybe he is already on here, and he has been taken. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see Aaron Jones. I don't know. Fantasy Pros. Maybe. I'm not going to say anything bad about them because I actually like them. I like this mock draft simulator. I just didn't see Aaron Jones get picked. But yeah, he got fucked, A.J. Dillon, by the fact that Aaron Jones ended up re-signing. Next up, we got Tariq Cohen and then Damian Harris. Harris is a guy I'm still looking to draft. Had a good last season. If James White's gone, if they don't draft a running back, it is looking sturdy for Mr. Damian Harris. So we're back up on the board. I like Judy, but I'm not going to be the guy who drafts both Denver wide receivers when Horsecock Drew Lock is the quarterback. So we're going to hop back into the wide receiver train, though, and look down. Let's be honest. I kind of like Jamison Crowder again. But Mono Man Sam's probably not the quarterback. I like Corey Davis as well. I like Marvin Jones. Now, did Marvin Jones change teams yet? I believe he did. Signed with the Jags. That's, I don't know. I feel like there's so many guys there, but I still think Marvin Jones will be successful. I really do. Death taxes Marvin Jones, wide receiver 2. He seems to always do it. So now we're going to hop back in to the running back train here and snag my boy J.D. McKissick. I talked about him a little bit earlier about how he's never going to get 30 points. I don't care. I'm here to tell you we don't care. That's like the Stephen A. Smith clip. I mean, he's just going to get a lot of receptions in that backfield. I really do believe it. I think he's just a fine handcuff. If Antonio Gibson was to go down, then boom, you got a great running back. If he's healthy, then you just got an all right flex option that you don't love, obviously. Darrell Henderson's another running back handcuff that I really like drafting in 2021. After I drafted Mr. J.D. McKissick, Corey Davis came out the board, followed by Mr. Jerry Jeudy, Antonio Brown, Hunter Henry, Naheem Hines, T.Y. Hilton, Laviska Shenault, Travis Etienne, Michael Pittman, Evan Ingram, Jalen Hurts, Tony Pollard, Latavius Murray, Sterling Shepard, Dallas Goedert, Jamal Williams, Logan Thomas, Jamison Crowder, Lynn Bowden, that's a terrible pick, Darrell Henderson, no idea, Javonte, that's a great pick, obviously, but he's never going to fall that far, Le'Veon Bell, Where's Le'Veon going to play? We also kind of need to know that. But we're back, and we're going quarterback here. I want to get my guy. I love Tannehill, but I want my guy Stafford. LA is a wonderful place for him. Nice and hot. He's going to have fun there, and they have a really good team for him. I love Stafford in LA. We're not going tight end yet. We're going to wait a little bit longer, and we're going to hop back onto the wide receiver train here and go with my main man, Death Taxes. I think Darius Slayton's going to actually be good this year. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Nick, you said that last year, and you fucking lied to me. You motherfucker. That's what you're probably thinking, right? You're thinking, Nick, you told me last year Darius Slayton would be good, and I did. And I did. He still got 750 yards, improved from his freshman season, rookie season. But Daniel Jones not looking the greatest, but now Kenny Golladay is there to take away attention from Darius Slayton. So I'm thinking it might really be Darius Slayton season. I'm buying in super late in the draft. We're in the 11th round. If it doesn't hit, it is what it is, but I think that he does have a lot of value back here, and I like to draft for value later on in the draft. Again, we still do need a tight end. This is probably where we're going to have to pick one, because otherwise there will be very slim picking. So we are going to go with Hayden Hurst here. Actually, we're going to Irv Smith. I really like Irv Smith. You like that with Kirk Cousins. Played pretty well last year if you look at his points per game with or without Kyle Rudolph. When Rudolph was out, Smith was balling. I'm confident in a 2021 breakout for Irv Smith. He was a guy I liked out of college. He's a guy I liked last year, but obviously didn't have as much upside due to the fact that Kyle Rudolph was there. Now Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, is in New York, so we're pretty good here. I'm not going to draft a backup quarterback, but I do think when you're taking shots at tight end late in the draft, you could draft two. I don't always do it, but in this situation I will, because I do like the upside of Zach Ertz in Indianapolis if he moves there. Trade, new team, question mark. They gave him request to do it. He's been talking to Indy, according to some sources, allegedly. So I kind of like that move. I think he'll be good with Carson Wentz. Again, he's not my starter. He's my backup because he's injury prone. You need to draft another guy if you're going to end up drafting Zach Ertz as your starting tight end. So now we are at the end of the draft. I'm just going to draft a kicker and a defense here. For kicker, what you do is you just close your eyes and pick one. I'm just kidding. There will be rankings, but I'm going with my man, my old bitch lame, but my Young Ho Koo. Young Ho Koo, fucking beast last year. Gave him a 1-year deal this year. He deserves the money. He deserves whatever bag they can give him. Young Ho Koo is an excellent kicker. Back in LA, back in the day, my freshman year of college, he was fucking terrible. And now he's really good. I don't know what happened, but I like Young Ho Koo. For defense, you're going to pick a defense playing a opponent week 1 that you think will turn the ball over. There's no schedule out right now, so we just picked the Bills. But again, once the schedule's out, we will know what to do. And if the Bills are playing the Jets like they normally do, that's the defense that you're going to end up wanting in your fantasy draft. So we are going to go over the draft. We do get a 94. Our team finishes as Matthew Stafford at the quarterback position. Our 2 running backs are Sanders and McCaffrey. Our wide receivers are DJ Moore and Allen Robinson. Our tight end is Irv Smith. Our flex is Chris Carson. Our defense is the Buffalo Bills, because no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Our kicker is Young Ho Koo. Our bench is Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton, Marvin Jones, J.D. McKissick, Darius Slayton, and Zach Ertz. The Fantasy Pros experts, they're loving it. Dan Harris is hating on the boy. Kyle Yates loves it. Mike Tagliere loves it. Shout out to those guys if you watch them on YouTube. I don't know if you do. Shout out to them. Very nice guys. At least it seems like it. So this is the draft. I will kind of minimize myself, put myself down here, make myself mini like the mouse. Oh, goofy. So now you guys can see the whole board if you want to check it out. Some picks that I found to be very interesting, again, that I kind of want to touch on here. Rashad Penny. A lot of people were discussing it's Rashad Penny season. They're getting down on their knees. Glock 9,000 type deal for Rashad Penny. His season died 2 days in after Chris Carson signed back. T.Y. Hilton, do not pick T.Y. Hilton. Why? Because he's washed. And he might end up on another team. AJ Green did not get picked. Don't pick him either. A pick I kind of like, wiki, DJ Chark, but there may be a little too many mouths to feed now there with the boy I picked in Marvin Jones. And the final pick I want to discuss here is going to have to be Logan Thomas. I understand they're bringing in other weapons there in Washington, but what we saw last year out of the guy was impressive, and I expect similar numbers in 2021. So thank you guys all so much for watching this video. If you did end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I do love you guys all. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and I hope that Monday is great to you. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. So have a great rest of your guys' day. Sorry if your March Madness bracket busted to Oral Roberts. You hate to see it. Good boy.